What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about a potential PlayStation showcase, or I guess another state of play. So we got Jeff Grubb over there talking about how PlayStation internally is debating on doing a showcase versus a state of play sometime this summer, but they're actually leaning more towards doing a showcase. Now, again, these pop up like month to month, but when these people generally like the Jeff Grubbs, Tom Hendersons, Nate the Hates, actually, I believe Jeff Grubb specifically got this last state of play right. Everybody had said that it was like the Wednesday through Friday, but you had insiders saying it was going to be the Thursday. You had people saying it was going to be the Friday. He was actually the only one to get the specific, the Wednesday dates. He got that right. So add that on. I mean, he does get stuff wrong for sure, but he actually tends to be, I would say, the most right with these showcases or state of plays. So I'm going to generally go along with it, just honestly, more than anything else, because it makes sense. You could look at this last state of play, and we've talked about it. We talked about my opinion of it leading into it, when it actually happened, and I think there's room to do first-party stuff. That was my one big negative takeaway, I guess, from this last state of play. A pretty darn good third-party state of play, but then when you just do PlayStation-specific stuff, it was a little bit weaker. So going into the summer, I mean, you still have, and I mean, there's a lot of unknowns, right? And you have games that were canceled and all this jazz, things that we've talked about over the last week or two. But more than anything, you do still have Wolverine, you still do have Death Stranding, and you still have Ghost. Specifically, like Ghost would make me believe that this summer idea, whether it's a state of play or showcase, okay, kind of throwing that part out of it, right? The fact that they would do something this summer, Ghost, is what makes me believe that the most, because obviously they say it's 2025. Death Stranding 2 is 2025. Now, I personally believe that Ghost is going to be probably like late summer, and then Death Stranding would be like sometime in the fall. So maybe like a July, August. I know mid-July, I think maybe the 17th was Ghost of Tsushima. So maybe you try to do the same thing, July, August, and then Death Stranding maybe like October or November, which would actually be very similar to when Death Stranding 1 came out, okay? If you do that, you can't wait until like the fall, if there's this fall state of play, which there generally is, right? Normally every September they do a state of play. I think that's where they showed Ghost off in the first place. Is it a good spot for Ghost? I mean, like, state of plays can be a spot for something as big as Ghost of Yote, but does the timing actually line up? And the answer is no. So unless you would do a standalone state of play, like you're doing with Borderlands, like you've done in the past with Hogwarts Legacy, or, going back, remember when the PS5 was coming out and you would get state of plays? Remember we got like a Horizon state of play and a few others? I actually miss those days because I kind of like dedicated state of plays to just one game, so long as we were getting, several of them, right? But bottom line, unless you're going to do that, you kind of have to show it before the summer. And you could do a Summer Game Fest with Jeff Keighley. They've done PlayStation things there before, or through Jeff, I should say, right? So you could do that, but, why do that if you would have your own showcase or state of play? Plus, you're just going to have to kind of have that talk around when Xbox goes, right? When it gets to June. The Switch 2, I think, will already be out by then. Xbox is going to have their event in June, as they always do, and they tend to freaking crush it. They do a really good job in that June event. So you're probably going to want to do something anyway. So I think it makes sense. I really, really do. And I mean, I don't really care which way you lean, just in the sense of, because look, saying it out loud versus like when it actually happens, we don't actually know what would be there. As I've said 1,000 times, like, state of plays can be good and showcases can be bad. So it's not really a difference to me right now sitting here, on Valentine's Day. It's not really a debate of like, oh, well, it kind of has to be one or the other. The last showcase was terrible. The last showcase was that live service one. It was awful. So I don't think the name should define it, right? If you do a showcase, expectations should be that you're going to show quite a few games, and it would be a pretty good mix of third and first party games. If you do a state of play, generally it's a little bit more themed, right? Like, it's got a theme to it. That to me is how you categorize them, not necessarily saying, oh, because they would lean towards a showcase, that means that it's suddenly going to become better. I think you should expect more, or you should want them to show more if they do a showcase in June or July, but what they actually show, the quality, you just don't know. The last one was terrible. This one has got to be better, by the way, than that live service one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.